much. So, for some of I saw you were sitting in the chanting session as well. So, if it is going to be long sitting for you, so please bear with us. We will try to share the glories of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So, like I was asking, how many of you have participated? Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, please come forward, Prabhujis and Matajis, if you can. There are more devotees coming, and when they come, they can have a seat at the back. So please move forward as much as you can, as per your convenience. So Lord Jagannath, what do we know about Lord Jagannath? What is the meaning of Jagannath? Lord of the universe. Yeah, Jagatasya Nath iti Jagannath. Yeah. Which Jagat, which universe is he the Lord of? All the universes, yes. Yes. Not just this universe, not just your own universe, like your own sphere, our individual, we have, our own desires, our own things. So he is the Nath of the whole universe, or all the universes. Yeah. It's good to know that who Jagannath is. Sometimes if there was this person who found a key ring, who found a actually ring, and he lifted that ring, he took it home. And then he asked someone, what could be the value of this ring? And he said, it could be 100, 200 rupees. And he just put it there in the, in the open room. Then after some days, there was a jeweler who visited his house. And then that jeweler asked him, do you know about this ring? He said, yeah, somebody told me it's only 150 rupees. He said, no, this is lakhs of rupees. And then he straightway picked it up. Oh, it's lakhs of rupees. So valuable. I must take care of it so nicely. Yeah. So like this, we have to know. We have to know the personality. It is said that, Binu jane na hohi partiti. If we don't know, then there is no pratiti as in Vishwas. There is no faith. The faith doesn't develop. We start to take things lightly. When a certain dignitary comes, we all want to be taken our pictures with him. Right? Because you think, he is some great personality. So similarly, we have to understand who is that Supreme Lord. Why are we, this whole fortnight or this month belongs to Lord Jagannath. It starts with Snan Yatra. So what is the significance of Snan Yatra? Yes. He takes bath. Yes. What else? Appearance day. This is the appearance day of Lord Jagannath. That's when we celebrate Snan Yatra. And after the Snan Yatra, the Supreme Lord, what is he doing now? He gets sick. Does he really get sick? This is a transcendental pastime. He gets sick so that we get an opportunity to serve him. Right? Otherwise, he is not sick. And what do we do during this time? Yeah, we offer him herbs. We offer him ginger tea. We offer him ginger and lemon. We offer him honey. We offer all those things. So wherever you are now in your own houses, you can make that offering. You can make that offering. Doesn't matter if you have Lord Jagannath at your house or not. You can often offer from your mind, and the Supreme Lord who is here, he will accept your offering. So until the day of the Rath Yatra. When is the Rath Yatra? 24th of June, Rath Yatra. Where is it? It's in Liverpool. And when is the real Rath Yatra? 20th of June is the real Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. But we will be celebrating here in Sydney on 24th of the June. Yeah? So back to my point. He is the Lord of the universes. Not just this universe. All the universes. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we can appreciate how big the universes are. And how wide it is. And how he is the supreme, how he is the Nath. He is the controller of everything. When the creation happens, so how many types of creation are there? There are 10 types of creation. that there are 6 primary creation and 4 secondary creation. It doesn't matter if you can't register, but just hear it out. Hear it out as the glory of the Supreme Lord, just so we can understand, how great my Lord Jagannath is, whom you will be pulling. When you pull the rope, what are you doing? You're trying to pull that Lord Jagannath into your heart. And if you want to bring something in some place, if this is sitting here, can I move something else here? For example, this little table is here. If I want to bring something here, what do I have to do? I have to move it. I have to create some space. So similarly, if you want Jagannath to come into your heart, you'll have to create some space for him. How will you create some space for him? By removing unwanted things. Only then he can come, right? How will he come? If it is full of desires, if it is full of so many things, there is no space for him. Yeah. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Brahmaji, he starts a creation, so there are 10 type of creations. Prabhuji, Mataji, 6 are primary creation, which is created by the Supreme Lord himself. Yeah. And they are created by Mahavishnu, Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Yeah? So he creates 6 type of primary creation. So the first one is called Pradhan. And the secondary is, from that comes Mahat Tattva. So just imagine the whole universe, it is like a golden egg. It comes out of the pores of Mahavishnu, who is lying in the Karanodakshaya ocean. So that is the first thing happens. Then from that Pradhan comes Mahat Tattva. Then comes Ahankar, the false ego, mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, mode of passion. So the false ego then comes out. And then comes sense objects. How many sense objects are there? 5 sense objects are there. And from the sense objects come the 5 gross elements. So the first sense object is what? Sound. From sound comes? That's right, Mataji, yes? Ether. Yeah. From sound comes ether. Ether is what? Space. When we say Akash, when we say sky, right? You are right now in the Akash. You are right now in the ether. Do you know that? So that element is here too. Sky just doesn't mean it's there. It is here too. Okay? So the first comes sound. From sound comes ether. Yeah? And then next comes what? Form. Smell. Yes. Yeah. Then comes air. Right? Okay. So I'll keep it short. So there are 5 sense objects and 5 gross elements. What are 5 gross elements? Fire, air, earth, water, ether, right? Out of these 3 you can see. Water you can see, fire you can see, earth you can see. But air, can you see air? You can only feel air. You can feel air blowing, touching your body. Hot air, cold air, fast air. Right? So these are the 5 gross elements. So ether and air you can't see, but they are very subtle, you can feel it. Right? You are sitting in the Akash at the moment. You are sitting in the ether, the space. Right? The air is also blowing. Yeah? And then 5 sense objects. So going back to the 6 elements of creation, 5 sense objects. Right? And then comes the senses. The actual senses in the mind. Then comes sense devta, the demigods, the presiding deity of the senses. To the extent we are dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, even if you want to urinate, you can't even urinate on your own. Do you know that? You take it for granted, I will be allowed to pass urine. No. Who is the presiding deity of organs? Mitra. Mitra, yes, Mataji. So like this, there are 6 primary creation. They are already created by the Supreme Lord. And then Brahmaji creates. Brahmaji creates secondary creation, 4 types. What are the 4 types? Jad. The first one is Jad. Jad is like trees, which can't move. And what is the second type? The next one is Chetan, the living entities like you. You can move. You have been tree in your life as well. Right? Does anyone has any doubt that we haven't been trees? In Kartik month when we are celebrating, so who are those? Who are those 2? Nal Kuber and Manikgriva. Kuber's sons. They became trees. Why? They were naked, they were in the river, they were intoxicated, they were enjoying themselves. So Naraji said, okay, you are behaving like Jad, you don't want to wear any clothes, okay, you become trees. So they became tree. So Jad and then Chaitan is the living entities, like us. Right? And the third one is animals. Animals. So Jad is the trees, then animals. Animals is the second. And then human beings, and then fourth is the demigods. So these are created by Brahmaji. And Brahmaji came from the lotus navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Right? So like this, Maitreya Rishi in Srimad Bhagavatam, he explains the creation process to Vidurji. And during that process, now Vidurji inquires from Maitreya Rishi that please explain to me the time. How the time is calculated. And then he explains the age of various living entities. Right? The human beings, they live 100 years. The demigods, right? And the Pitralok. So how many planets are there in the planetary system? How many? 14. Yeah? So starting from Earth. So Earth, Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, Swarglok, Maharlok, Janlok, Taplok and Satyalok. These are the 7 planetary systems above. Right? When we are living on Bhu as in Earth planet. And then the Pitralok is above us, and then the Swarglok is above that. And then above that there are 4 planetary systems. And then below us there are 7. Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, Mahatal, Patal. So 7 below, 7 up. 14 planetary systems. Yeah? So he explained, Maitreya explained the age of demigods, the age of Pitrilok, the age of human beings. And then he asked him about the age of people who are living above the Swarg, above the heavenly planets. And they live, he said, they live for a kalpa. What is a kalp? A day of Brahmaji. Very nice, Prabhu. Yeah. Like I said, don't worry if you can't register. Just hear it out as glorification of Supreme Lord. And then we'll appreciate. Oh, we are nothing in the broader scheme of things. So Brahmaji is one day. One day consists of 12-hour day and 12-hour night. So one day is called a kalp, 12 hour. And his night is also equal to 1 kalp, which is his 12 hours. Do you know what is the length of one day? Or 12 hours in human years? 4.32 billion years. Human years. So that is the length of Brahmaji's 12 hours. And then his one day becomes 8.64 billion human years. That's just Brahmaji's one day. And Brahmaji lives for 100 years. So now you multiply 8.64 billion years into 365 into 100. That's how long Brahmaji lives. That's how long Brahmaji lives. Now after describing Brahmaji's age and all the living entities, Deva Pitra Manushyanam, after describing that, then Maitreya Rishi tells Vidurji that this Kal, this time, Kalo Ayam, yeah, Dviparardha Akhyam. So Brahmaji's life is divided into two parts. 150-year cycle is called Parardh. So one Parardh and two like another Parardh. So now we are in the second Parardh of current Brahmaji's life, just for your knowledge. And we are in the 7th Manvantar. And the avatar of this Manvantar is Vaman avatar. Yeah. So if you see Vaman Bhagwan, he is the incarnate, he is the Manvantar avatar of this Manvantar when you are, where you are. So after describing all of this, Maitraji tells Vidurji that Kalo Ayam Dviparardha Akhyam Nimesh Upcharyate Avyakritasya Anantasya He. Yeah. Avyakritasya Anantasya He Jagat Atmana. So he says, this Kal, this time that I have described to you, Vidurji, Kal Akhyam, or which is Dviparardh, it is a Nimesh. Nimesh means what? Blink of an eye. It is just blink of an eye for that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is Avyakritasya, who doesn't change. He doesn't change, but at the same time, he is Anant. He doesn't change, he is Anant, and certainly he Anadir. He is without any beginning. But he is Jagat Atmana. He is the soul of the Jagat. Right? That Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he says, this Kal, this time factor, Maitreji, that I have described to you, right? Kalo Ayam, once again he says, Kalo Ayam Parmanava Adir Dviparardhant Ishvara. This Kal is the controller of Parmanava Adir. Parmanu is the smallest particle. Smallest particle is called Parmanu, which can't be seen by the eyes. It is indivisible. Right? Invisible. From the smallest particle to the greatest particle. And what is the greatest particle? Which is the sum total of this whole universe. Right? And for an analogy, he's saying Brahmaji's lifespan, because this universe exists until Brahmaji exists. And then after that, we all go back into the body of Mahavishnu. So he says, Kalo Ayam, this Kal Vidurji, which is Dviparardha Ant. So it is controller of all the living entities. It is controller of Brahmaji, Ishvara. But Naiv Ishitum Prabhur Bhumna. Naiv Ishitum. It cannot control. It is not capable of controlling the Prabhu. Bhumna, who is the supreme controller, who is the supreme Lord. This Kal is, who is the controller of Brahma, who is the controller of all the living entities starting from the lowest particle atom. This Kal is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he asks, but still, who are those people? Who are those whom this Kal can control? Valid question. Yeah, he's controlling all of you. But who in particular he is controlling? Then who is free? Someone has to be free. Ayur harti vaipum sam udyan astan chayannaso. Sud Goswami is saying, your age is stolen away by the rising and setting of the sun. Okay, understood. But then who are saved? Tasya rite yat shanonita uttam shloka vartaya. Except those who are discussing the pastime of the Uttam Shlok, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everyone's age is stolen away by the rising and setting of the sun. So every moment, this moment is gone, you can't get it back. So Maitraji, once again, he is telling Vidurji that this Kal, who is controlling the lowest particle, who is controlling the greatest living entity in this universe, that Kal has no capacity to even touch, but rather he is controlled by that Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at the same time, yes, it is the Ishwar, it is the controller of people. He is the controller of whom? Who is Ishwarya Dham Maninam, who are in the bodily concept, who think, I am this body, they are controlled by this Kal. You understand? And now Vidurji then asks further, okay, you have explained this to me, the greatness of the time, the greatness of the Kal, but my dear sir, what is the Swarup of that Kal? Or what is the Swarup of that Supreme Personality of Godhead? Please explain to me. And then he says that this whole earth, this is this universe that we are in. He's not talking about other universe. He says in this universe, it is a diameter of 4 billion miles. 4 billion miles is the diameter of this earth, as per Bhagavatam. 4 billion yojans, not the miles. Let me correct myself. 1 yojan is 8 miles. So then you can work out how many miles. So he says this is how wide the diameter of this earth is. And this earth, he is saying, is covered by 10 times stronger outer layers. So earth is covered by 10 times more, whatever the earth is, right? So 10 times more it is covered by the water. Then 10 times more than water is the fire layer. Now think of these layers, right? Start building up in your mind. Earth is covered by 10 times thicker layer of water. Then that is covered by 10 times thicker layer of fire. Then that is covered by 10 times thickest layer of air. And then that is covered by 10 times thicker layer of ether. And then that is further covered by 10 times thicker layer of ahankar. Then that is further covered by 10 times thicker layer of mahat tattva. And then it is further covered by 10 times thicker layer of pradhan. So this whole universe, right, is just an atom, is just a small atom in the bigger scheme of things. And if you further zoom out, all the universes are like these smaller atoms in the bigger scheme of things. If you zoom out and you see all the universes, and there are millions and millions of universes. And those millions and millions of universes, then they go inside the body of Mahavishnu, right? Karanodakshaya Vishnu, right? All of them, they go inside his body. So the sum total of that. And that Swarup, Maitreji tells, Tad ahur aksharam brahma sarva karana karanam. So that Vishnu, which is aksharam, which doesn't decay. She and akshay. She means something that decay. Akshay means which doesn't decay. So tad ahur, he is called akshay, and he is Brahma, and he is sarva karana karanam. He is the cause of all the causes. And what is his Swarup? That is Vishnu Dham, which is the Dham of Vishnu. Vishnu Dham Mahan Param Purushasya Mahatmana. Right? And that Vidurji, that is the Swarup of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all these universes are going inside his body and coming out of that body. So that is the Swarup of that Supreme Lord. And that is called Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Now other way to try to understand. From Karanodakshaya Vishnu, he expands himself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Right? So the universe is coming out of his body. And it is lying as a golden egg. Just by his glance, he impregnates the universe. And through that process, all the living entities, all the jivas, with their karma, with their svabhav, jiv, kal and karma. Right? So he impregnates. Just by his look, the universe gets impregnated. And that then Karanodakshaya Vishnu, he expands himself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And he enters that universe. As he enters into that universe, he doesn't find anyone there. And then he creates a space for himself. Through his own sweat, he fills up half of the universe. And then he lies down in that universe. The egg. And he is called Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And then after doing that, then from his lotus navel, lotus comes, and then Brahmaji comes, and within that stem itself, all those 14 planetary systems are there. And then the same Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, then from him another expansion comes, which is called Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And then on the top of so bottom there is a Garbhodak, and on top is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. That is the Shir Sagar that you see in the movies very often, where the Brahmaji and all the demigods and praying. So that's that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu who is residing in all of you as Paramatma. Brahmeti Paramatmeti iti shabdate. So that Paramatma, that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is residing in all of you as Paramatma. Yeah? And then he is taking note of your activities. See, the same Paramatma, he is capturing your desires. He is capturing your karmas. He is capturing your thoughts. If you think nobody is watching, he is watching. Yeah? Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. Lord Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I am the Upadrashta. I am the overseer of your activities. I am the one who sanctioned these activities. Depending on your circumstances, depending on your piety, he will sanction. But he is taking note of everything. So that's the Paramatma. Right? So Paramatma has come Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is an expansion of Karanodakshaya Vishnu. And all the universes, they are going inside the body of the Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Brahmaji is praying. Yasek niswasita ka lamathavalambe jivanti loma bilja jagadandanath Vishnu mahan saihayasya kala vishesho govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Brahmaji is praying, Brahmaji is saying, Yasek nishvasita. By him taking just one breath when he takes. Kalam athav lambe, the time it takes for him to take one breath, which is the Jivanti Lom Bilija Jagadand Nath. The Nath of this Jagat, so-called Brahmaji. Not our Jagannath, just the Brahmaji. So that is the lifespan of Brahmaji. Brahmaji just lives for that period of time, just for one breath, that Karanodakshaya Vishnu. And that Karanodakshaya Vishnu is called Vishnu Mahan. That is the Mahavishnu. And that Vishnu Mahan is Kala Vishesho. You know Kala? Kala is an expansion of an expansion. You understand? So there is a direct expansion. Balramji is direct expansion of Lord Shri Krishna. But an expansion of an expansion. So Mahavishnu is an expansion of an expansion. He is just Kala. That is called Kala. To that Govind I pay my obeisances. So Prabhuji Mataji, so all these expansions. So our Jagannath, whom you are going to see, whose Snan Yatra you participated, he is not just Nath of this universe. He is Nath of the Nath. He is even the Nath of the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, in whose body all the universes are going. He is Nath. You understand? So even Karanodakshaya is an expansion of Lord Jagannath. So now you can appreciate what is the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Jagannath is. Right? So that is the position of Jagannath. So now I'll give you a little bit of context about why this form of Jagannath. So Lord Jagannath is non-different from Krishna. Does anyone has any doubt? If he is Krishna, why does he look like that? Why doesn't he look like Krishna? So we are short on time. I'll just discuss one pastime, and then you have another session next week where Prabhuji will be giving you more, more pastime, more discussion. So I think first up to now you should be able to appreciate the position of Jagannath, right? When we say he's the Lord of the universe, which is in just the words. But the second aspect is you have to realize that. Anubhav. आपको उसको अनुभव करना है. You have to feel that, not just by saying that. How big he is. What is my great fortune. I got to participate in Snan Yatra. I got to bathe him. With that mood you approach him. I'm going to pull his chariot. Am I really qualified to touch his chariot? He is so merciful. In Skand Puran, Jaimini Rishi is describing the glories of Lord Jagannath. He says that Jagannath is not different from Krishna. Yatra Sakshat Jagannath Shankh Chakra Gadadhara Jantu Nam Muktim Jantu Nam Darshanat Muktim Dadati Yo Dadati Jagannath. Yeah? So he says that Yatra, where, when he's describing the glories of the Purushottam Kshetra, where Lord Jagannath, in Jagannath Puri, he says that Jagannath Bhagwan is residing there with Shankh, Chakra and Gada. So he's holding the Shankh as in conch, he's holding the Chakra, the disc, and he's holding the club and the lotus. Yatra Sakshat Jagannath Shankh Chakra Gadadhara Jantu Nam, like us. Not even human beings, animals, everyone included. When you are not behaving like a human, we are behaving like a jantu, an animal. Right? Jantu Nam Darshanat Mukti. Just by getting his darshan, he give you liberation. This is how merciful Lord Jagannath is. Just by doing. Yo Dadati, who can give liberation. You know when you go in Jagannath Puri, in Jagannath Puri, all the living entities are four-handed forms. Even the ants. So when next time you go to Jagannath Puri, please remember this. Yes, you won't see them. You say, Prabhu, I sat in a rickshaw and the rickshaw guy was trying to cheat me. He was asking me 100 rupees for a 50 rupee ride, and I had an argument with him. You can't see that. You can't appreciate. But just be mindful when you are in Jagannath Puri. All of them. Aho Kshetrasya Mahatamya. When the demigods are seeing from the above, they say, oh, such is the glory of this Kshetra, this place. Yatra Sthita Jana Sarve Shankh Chakra Abj Panya. All the residents in Jagannath Puri, demigods are looking at from the top. And this is in the mentioned in the Garud Puran. Yatra Sthita Jana Sarve Shankh Chakra Padab Abj Panya. Pani is in hand. In their hand, all the creatures there, right from ant, donkey, cow, bull, anyone you name it, they're all four-armed. Such is the glory of Jagannath Puri. And how is that glorious? Because Lord Jagannath is there. Yeah? He's so merciful. Now why he has this shape? When Krishna was in Dwarka, he used to cry. He was missing his friends from Vrindavan. He would cry a lot. And all the queens of Dwarka would get worried. They will be concerned. Why? He's with Satyabhama, but he's thinking of Radharani. Mother Rukmini is there, but Krishna is thinking of Radharani. He's speaking of his friends, Gopa friends and Gopis in Vrindavan. So once Mother Rohini was visiting them. Who is Mother Rohini? Balramji's mother, yes. So she visited Dwarka. And then all the queens, they said, please tell us what is the secret behind this. He has married us, but he's always talking, he's always thinking of Radharani and all of his friends in Vrindavan. Please tell us. And then Mother Rohini said, okay, I will tell you about his pastimes, but make sure Krishna doesn't hear them. I will tell you why he's doing this. I will tell you about Vrindavan. But just make sure Krishna doesn't hear this. So what they do, they appoint Subhadra. You go and stand on the door. Who is Subhadra? Everybody, I hope you will try to remember these points. Because very important, like I said, we should appreciate. And to appreciate, we have to know. right? And then the devotion will increase. Yeah? Binu jane na ho hi partiti, binu partiti hoy nahi priti, priti binu na bhakti dridhai, jimi khagpati jal kai chiknai. So there is Tulsidas ji, he has mentioned this. Yeah? What he's saying is that without knowing, you won't have the faith. You won't develop that strong faith. And we human beings, if somebody tells me, oh, he's such a great person, you won't believe it. If somebody walks in there without any guards and without any big car, I won't believe that. If somebody tells you, oh, he's a billionaire, he's the Prime Minister of India, they won't believe it. They want evidence. Right? So you should know. And that evidence is there in the Shastras. Right? So that's what I'm saying. I mentioned these so that you can understand and appreciate who is Lord Jagannath. Yeah? So then Mother Subhadra was asked to guard the door and make sure Krishna and Balram doesn't come there. And as Mother Rohini describing the pastimes of Krishna, Bal Krishna in Vrindavan, and then suddenly Krishna and Balram also came. Mother Subhadra was standing there and she didn't even know that Krishna and Balram has also come. They came and stood next to her. One on the right hand side, one on the left hand side. And they also started listening to those pastimes. As Krishna was listening to those pastimes, he got into such an ecstasy, which is called Mahabhav. And Krishna got into such an ecstasy by hearing those pastimes. And when you are in, sometimes when you hear Krishna Katha, the tears start flowing. The hair stand on our hands. Right? It also happens when you hear somebody died, some accident. There is a big ram on the road and then you suddenly go. But here it was a different mood. As Krishna and Balram, they were listening. As Krishna was listening to his own pastimes, he went into a great ecstasy. He started remembering his friends. He started remembering those leelas. And in that state, what happens? Your arms go inside. And Krishna and Balram, they went into the ecstasy. And exactly the form that you see Lord Jagannath and Balram, they got into the same form. And seeing them get into the same form, Mother Subhadra also got into the same form as she is now. And as they were getting into that form, Shri Naradji came there. Naradji came there, Naradji saw Krishna, Balram and Mother Subhadra in that form. And Naradji paid his obeisances to Krishna. And by the time the Mother Rohini, she stopped describing the pastimes. And then Krishna and Balram, they came their original form. Then Naradji bowed down and Naradji requested to Krishna, Balram and Subhadra. And then he said that this is the greatest form that I have seen. Because this is Mahabhav form. This is the most merciful form, because by hearing your pastimes with your friends, it shows how much you love to your friends. In this form, my dear Lord, you don't have any eyelids. Your arms are stretched out as if you want to embrace others. So I request you that you take an incarnation and you appear in this form. And Supreme Lord, He is so merciful. When Naradji requested, he could not refuse. And Krishna Balram said, okay, we will come into this form. We will take this form, we will appear in this form. So that is how Lord Jagannath and Baldev and Subhadra, they are in this form. There are many other different pastimes, but as Krishna comes, so he satisfies, many promises that he has made in one go. Right? So Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maharani ki. So when we celebrated Snan Yatra, we celebrated the appearance of Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. King Indradumna, who was a king of Avanti, he was the instrument. In Skand Purana, this whole pastime is described. Maybe some other time we'll share that with you. So when he installed the deities, invited Brahmaji, and they performed that bathing ceremony, and Lord Jagannath himself guided. He described to them that this is how you should perform my bathing ceremony. And that's when the Snan Yatra happened. Then the Supreme Lord, he gets unwell, he gets sick for a fortnight, and then after the fortnight, he comes on a chariot to give darshan to all his devotees. So on 24th June, Prabhuji's Mataji, the Lord Jagannath will come himself on the chariot in Liverpool. You're all welcome to please come. Please pull the chariot. Please pull the chariot to invite Lord Jagannath into your hearts. And for him to invite into your hearts, what you have to do? I can't hear. You have to create space for Lord Jagannath into your house so that he can enter. Otherwise, how can he fit? It's already full. Yeah. So please spend next one more week to create that space. Chant as much as holy name as you can, and then we'll celebrate the Ratha.